All right, peeps. I'm getting ready to do Fresh and Fit. I hope I didn't just give away the most amazing thing. This is on the 53rd floor of a building. 53rd floor of a building. Now, I'm not impressed with like stuff, but that's terrifying. That's terrifying right there. Okay, back it up. That is, from what I'm told, South Miami. Holy cows. And then you come around the bend here, and then I guess you can see North Miami or something along those lines. This feels like New York, except younger, more energy. There's dogs everywhere, like good dogs, not always the small, fluffy dogs, like big dogs, a shepherd, French bulldogs. This is wild. Although I don't like it on the balcony. This reminds me of an episode of Daniel Thrasher where he's on the top of a building. He's like, "You want to jump off?" Don't joke. I'm just going to go back inside because this makes me feel very uncomfortable. Although during a storm, to watch a storm come in here, although there's a plane right there, so that makes me a little nervous. To watch a storm come in must be absolutely stunning. So we'll be live in 15 minutes, and I'm told the after party can be rowdy, but like I always say, nothing good happens after midnight. But I'm going to go home probably sooner than later. Check that out. All right, that's
pretty cool.
Amazing. All right, let's do this.
So yeah, I was on with Fresh and Fit yesterday. Fresh and Fit, and I never got to make my joke that I've been saying. I have to close this here. That I had been saying. Ugh. I've been Freudian slipping it or inverting it and saying fish and fret, which is quite funny because that's literally what I do on a daily basis. I'm also fresh and fit, but I just go and fish and fret. Oh, what happens if those Russian submarines off the coast of Florida detonate a sub-aquatic nuclear bomb and then a tsunami washes over the entire peninsula of Florida? If that were to happen, like just entertain my obsessive compulsive thoughts of impending doom. If a sub-aquatic nuclear bomb were to go off on the Atlantic coast, would the ensuing tsunami wash over the entire peninsula of Florida, like go straight over the peninsula, all the way through the Everglades, wash out into the Gulf of Mexico? Would that happen? And my goodness, would that not be the most epic drone shot ever? Oh, it is a beautiful view, says Trump one. But I could never get used to living in a high rise that high. If anybody hasn't seen the episode of Daniel Thrasher, I jokingly say this is probably not the endorsement that he'd ever want, is Viva Frei talking about Daniel Thrasher, but he has comedy that transcends ideology. And I believe he also suffers from either ADHD, OCD, whatever. We might be kindred spirits in more ways than he might want to ever admit. He did one episode where, like, you're on the balcony. Oh, what would it feel? Just like that compulsive, intrusive thought. And that's anybody who knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. Good afternoon, East Coast. Good morning, West Coast. Good evening, England. So yesterday, I wanted to go live, but it's not possible. I got 2 kids, 2 dogs. I did a segment with Redacted in the morning, and that was aired yesterday, and it was a great segment. We'll probably touch on it today, maybe, about the hypocrisy of the Democrats and the DOJ, and subpoenas for thee, but not for me. Contempt for thee, but not for me. Conviction for thee, but not for me. The DOJ, Merrick Garland got found in contempt or held in contempt, and they're not going to prosecute it because jail for Bannon and Navarro, but not for Merrick Garland. Did that, and then I get the call from Richard Surrett, Saga 960 or 690. Richard Surrett, Talk Radio. I love him. Says, can you come on and talk about everything? It was amazing. Talked about the Alex Jones case. That segment was 30 minutes at 5:05 yesterday. I've got the audio and I'll publish it later today. And then Fish and Fret. I did it again there. Fresh and Fit, where I had to drive down to that center location in Miami. It's where the shopping center is that has a putt. What is it called? Pitch and putt? Like a mini putt game that adults play, like at a bar, and it's a cool game. And I learned something yesterday, not the hard way, but the clearance on the Bronco is taller than 6'7". It wasn't a disastrous mowing into a garage door and like crushing the top off. Those stupid little guiding things actually served a purpose. I don't know what the clearance on that car is, but it's more than 6'7". So if you're going to go into very densely populated areas with limited parking, take the Tiguan. So good morning, everybody. It was a fantastic podcast, I think, with Fresh and Fit yesterday, with Myron and Fresh. And we talked, I left before the women came. Like, there was a discussion, do I stay and see what happens? Do I get put in an awkward position? Or do I go home and tend to the paralyzed puggle and squeeze her out before she pees all over the floor and the dog? And I went home. And what did I end up doing last night? As I get home, I'm cooking dinner at midnight. And I decided, for whatever the reason, self-torture, to watch the director's cut alternate ending to Butterfly Effect. I had forgotten how absolutely dark and tear-jerking that was. Okay, let's make sure that we're live across platforms. We're live on Viva Fry on Rumble. We're live on Viva Barnes Pitch and Putt is what it's called, or Putch and Pit. We're live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We're not live on Twitter. I didn't hold on. Let me just add, for the time being, I'll add Twitter edit. Go add on Twitter, save update, and we'll be live on Twitter. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, you know who I am. Viva Fry, Montreal litigator turned current Florida Rumbler, former Montreal litigator. We start on YouTube, Twitter, Locals, and Rumble. And then we vote with our feet. We vote with our dollar. We create that parallel economy, and we support companies that don't shit on us day in and day out by going to Rumble. And if you're so inclined, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. After we're done on Rumble, we have our after party at Locals, where the supporters get, a few perks of being supporters and supporting the enterprise that has become Viva Fry and Robert Barnes at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We're going to talk about some good stuff today. The lying is out in full force, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And I don't often resort to shaming people like, are your parents not ashamed of what a liar you have become? But I did it today. We're going to get there. Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, no lie with Brian Taylor Cohen, shaming his parents because they either raised a liar or they did not shame that man into telling the truth and having a fear of God in the metaphoric proverbial sense. Then we're going to talk about Chris Murphy, a Connecticut senator or congressman. I'm not exactly sure. He's a senator or congressman, talking about Uvalde and basically saying the quiet part out loud, confirming what a great many people believe, what a great many people call conspiracy theory about the response or stand down, absolutely lack thereof, of the 376 police officers who stood by, not for 10 minutes, as he said, not for 50 minutes, as he said, not for an hour, as he said, but for an hour and 17 minutes, and did nothing during that horrific tragedy. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about something. I don't like talking about it, but the news is out, or there is some news. How do you digest it? Some news apparently that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, had advanced detailed knowledge of the plan of October 7 in advance, failed or neglected to act on it for whatever the reason. We'll go through it. We'll talk about it. We might maybe save that one for vivabarneslaw.locals.com. And other stuff, what else comes up in the chat. Now we get these things here called super chats. Pitch and putt, putch and pit. I don't like it because it's too expensive, and it's like $25 a person. And it seems that the only way to win the game is to get holes in one all the time. Plus, it's dark, it's dirty, it's indoors, but it's a cool place. We might maybe. What was I going to say? Yes, these things that you see here. There's super chats on YouTube, Rumble rants on Rumble. And you can do tips and coins and whatever, all that other stuff. YouTube takes 30% of that. So the best way to do it is to go to Rumble and support there, or become a member at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Before we get into anything, people, speaking of fresh and fit, being healthy, staying healthy, sponsor for today's video, one of two of them is, I can't find it. Here we go. Field of Greens, people. Have it. Drink it. Eat it. It's a healthy substitute. And it is good for you. Most people don't know that you're supposed to have 5 to 7 servings of raw fruits and vegetables a day. Most people don't have that. One thing I find absolutely sickening and atrocious, and I keep taking the picture but never publishing the tweet, you go into gas stations, and I never really appreciated it until I started obsessing about it. It's like an inventory of sugar waters to make you sick and unhealthy. And then I took a picture of the back of one of those Monster energy drinks. It contains 120% of your daily sugar intake recommended in one freaking can of disgusting chemical-filled sugar water. You're supposed to have 5 to 7 servings of raw fruits and vegetables a day for obvious reasons: health, nutrients, antioxidants, all the good stuff. Most people don't do that. Even if you do that, substitute out an unhealthy habit for a healthy habit. Field of Greens is not a supplement or an extract. It's a desiccated fruit and vegetable, pulverized powder. It's a food. It's USDA organic, and 1 spoonful once a day is 1 serving. Do it twice a day. You get 2 servings, all of as good as you can get, close to the real thing, the raw thing. You get the antioxidants, you get the nutrients. 1 spoonful twice a day. It tastes delicious. It's healthy. It substitutes in a good habit for a bad habit. I once upon a time said humans are creatures of habit that get bored by routine. Get a healthy routine. Filter out the unhealthy habits for the good ones. Fieldofgreens.com. Promo code VIVA will get you 15% off and free shipping. Do it. It's delicious. It's great. It's a healthy substitute. You can carry it with you when you go traveling, when it's hard to get raw fruits and vegetables. And thank them very much. Support the companies that like and respect your business. Fieldofgreens.com. It brings you to Brickhouse Nutrition. Promo code VIVA for 10% off your order. Oh, Lordy. Now, let us bring on the liars. Pathological, disgusting, shameless lies. I feel like Don Quixote, or that I say Don Quixote, fighting windmills. I'm not looking for imaginary villains to fight. I'm finding real villains to fight, and it's an endless battle because they do not stop with the line. The amazing thing, the video that they're saying is a lie, that Joe Biden didn't freeze up on stage. And the right-wing New York Post disinformation. Joe Biden didn't freeze up on stage. He didn't need Obama to jerk him out of his demented trance. It's disinformation, and they show you this ridiculously edited video. We'll just replay this for those who haven't seen it, though it's been in the news and everybody's seen it. You literally see the moment. Literally see the moment. This is an unedited audience view. You literally see the moment where Obama comes and gets a Biden by the hand, and you see his face literally snap out of whatever trance, demented, senile trance that he was in. Short circuit. Not moving. Look at his head. Ooh, you're there. Look at it. Ooh, you're there. Ooh, you're there. Yeah, that's right. Get off, Joe. Never underestimate Joe's ability to fuck things up. Hard to swear, I'm just quoting Obama. That's the video. Now, that was in response to who was the liar today? Andrew J. Bates. Andrew J. Bates, fresh off being fact-checked by at least 6 mainstream outlets for lying about POTUS with cheap fakes. Cheap fakes. Do you see how this is all working? You're going to understand this. Cheap fakes, deep fakes. They are goddamned liars. I'm sorry to use the Lord's name in vain for those of you who are sensitive to that. God-forsaken liars. Shameless, unrepentant, habitual liars. Cheap fakes. Rupert Murdoch's sad little super PAC, the New York Post, is back to disrespecting its readers and itself once again. Their ethical standards could deal with a little unfreeze. Andrew Bates, I said, you are truly the master of lies, Mr. Bates. Almost the master Bates of lies. It's just unbelievable. And they play this video that is a totally it's got like more edits than one of Joe Biden's 13-second advertisements on YouTube. And it's just a lie. Cheap fakes. They're throwing out terms now. Cheap fakes, casting doubt, Russia information campaign. Remember what they said about the Hunter Biden laptop. But you get your liar in chief. I don't know. That's not the right word for it. You get your press sec professional liar. Where is it? Karine Jean-Pierre, where are you? We need you here. There you go. You get your pathological, shameless, exploited, and exploitive. And I'm saying diversity hire because she's literally a diversity hire. She came out, call me whatever. Sorry, in my haste, I seem to have taken the wrong person out of the stream. She is literally and admittedly a diversity hire. Remember day one she gets up there? She threw off so many things. I didn't even know you could have this many diversity hires in one human. Black, lesbian. What was the other? There was another one. Immigrant. I don't know if it was an immigrant. Hey, thank you for being the first woman, or I don't know. Maybe she's the first. All three. She's the first Black woman lesbian press secretary of all time. And my goodness, what a standard she has set for other women out there, other Black people out there, other lesbians out there. You too can be a professional, paid for liar, gaslighter with no respect for your viewers. Odd enough that Master Bates was talking about having no respect for their viewers to the New York Post. This is the diversity hire in chief coming out and doing everything that's basically humanly possible to confirm all of the most nefarious stereotypes about diversity hires. I'm going to go back and get her clip in a second. Let's hear what she has to say.
It tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. And instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, where he's been able to
look at the shoulder. Look, whenever I lie, I just got to tilt my shoulder down a little bit.
Do for the American people across the country. We're seeing these deep fakes.
I'm sorry. What the heck did you just say, Karine Jean-Pierre? Let me start this again. I'm not going to talk if I can help myself.
It tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. And instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos. And it is, again, done in bad faith.
Deep fake?
It tells you everything.
By the way, I knew that I was on mute. Deep fake manipulated videos? What in the name of sweet holy hell are you talking about, Karine Jean-Pierre? Deep fake. What does she say here? It was deep fake and
that we need to know across the country. We're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos.
Deep fakes. Has she been a fact check on that? Has there a deep fake? I can't get over that. Here, link to tweet. Deep fakes. And so they come out and basically accuse the New York Post of doing to the New York Post audience what they are doing to their followers, their subscribers, their constituents. They come out and then suggest deep fakes, which is the most egregious lie since a Russian information campaign as relates to Hunter Biden's computer. By the way, speaking of which. Oi! 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 I meant to give these to. I realized I should have given one to Fresh and Fit yesterday. I'll have to give them the one the next time I see them. They should have Marco Polo, Garrett Ziegler on. Remember when this laptop came out, and they said it bore the earmarks of a Russian information campaign. I don't know why it's in Saran wrap. Maybe this was Hunter's version. They had to keep it clean and dry. They lie, and then they do what they do. They do what they accuse others of doing. And then they lie again. What was I about to say? I had the thought in my head. Oh, the Russian information campaign. Deep fakes. Highly manipulated videos. Let me see here. Where's Brian Taylor Cohen? BTC. No lie with BTC. Let me bring it up here. I don't think I necessarily had it in my... Here, let's just go. Let's see what Brian Taylor Cohen has to say. Can't believe the guy hasn't blocked me yet on Twitter. I mean, that's good for him, I guess. I mean, the amount of ratioing and calling out, his handle is literally called No Lie with BTC. And I've talked about it many times. It's sort of like the People's Republic of China. Like or the Democratic Republic of Congo. Like a lot of terrorist organizations give themselves like freedom names or democracy names or people's liberation names. When they give themselves a name, typically, especially one that is self-adulating, self-congratulatory, typically it's one of, I don't know if it's Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, but typically it's a front. Listen to this. No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, BTC. Oh, God, Bitcoin. That's all I can see with that. Hold on. What are his credentials? Podcast covering the top stories and the interviews with the biggest names in politics. Hosted. He does get good numbers on YouTube, and that goes to show you. The cream rises to the top, but also so does the floating poop. He writes, look at this. Here is a photo of Trump having to hold someone's hand to guide him off stage. I'm sure this will get just as much coverage as the daily quote Biden old story gets. Oh, and look at that. It looks like look, my grandmother had a bad hip, and that's how she kind of walked. I could get a still frame of anybody with their knee bent at an angle that kind of looks like that. Let's read what Brian Tyler Cohen has to say again. Here is a photo of Trump having to hold someone's hand to guide him off stage. I'm sure this will get as much coverage as the daily Biden old story gets. It will, Brian, because I will make sure that it gets as much coverage as the Biden old gets. That was the picture. Now, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's true. But if a picture is worth 1,000 words and a video is 32 pictures per second, well, that means a video is worth 32,000 words per second. And how many seconds is this video? This video is 30 seconds, which means that this video is going to be worth 32,000 times 30. 9 million words. I'm an idiot. Oh gosh, I've embarrassed myself. I should remember never to do math real time. 32,000. No, not 320,000. 32,000 times 30. Oh, damn it. I carried one extra zero. 960,000 words. Here's a video that's worth 960,000 words to Lion Brian. Oh my goodness. I'm calling him Lion Brian. To Lion Brian's video. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, way down. Is this the one? Colinda Bin. Well, this wasn't the original poster, but I'll give End Wokeness the playtime here. 960,000 words coming your way. Remember, people, remember the picture. I'll spoil it a little bit. It's somewhere about here. Nope, it's about here. No, it's about here. No. Oh gosh, I'm ruining everything. There you go. Bam. Oh, I see. Okay, good. They did something. End Wokeness did this edit. Boom. Okay, let's just play this, and then I'll go find the original one. Putting on mute. I'm not working for YouTube copyright trolls. That's the video. Boom. Done. You know what? I actually don't like this edit as much as the original one. Let me see where I retweeted it. The original one without the highlight of where the moment was is even more poignant because you realize how absolutely instantaneous or momentary the hand grab was, where Lion Brian needs you to believe that it was so bad he had to be walked on stage with somebody here. Still Boneless tweeted it, or at least that's where I first saw it. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this. That was it. That was it. You might have missed it. You might have missed it because it's right there. There's and snap the picture. He needed help. A bunch of shameless, pathological liars is what they are. Shaking his son's hand, indeed, Rampart. And that was it. That's how they're going to flip the script on Joe Biden literally being woken up from his slumber by Obama while on stage. They play a highly edited, I won't call it a deep fake because it's not a deep fake, Jean-Pierre, unless you don't know what that is. It's just a highly edited video that shows something indiscernible when it comes to Biden, but the straight on unedited shows exactly what happened. And then they show a picture to lie. Shameless. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me see. Do I have anything more on that rant and rave? Oh, yeah. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. Okay. Barbara Streisand has gotten very vocal on Twitter these days. I don't know if anybody's followed that. I don't know how, if she's coming up in other people's feeds, it's probably because people are rage sharing her stupidity, where she put out a tweet where I said it has to be rage bait. She puts out a tweet. Can you imagine what would have happened if Hillary Clinton denied the election? And we're like, bitch, are you serious? Like, did you actually just say that and not mean it in a rage baiting troll type way? And there's this thing out there. I don't know if you know, have ever heard of this concept called the Streisand effect. And the Streisand effect is that, you try to suppress a story, and in so suppressing the story, the unfavorable story, you actually amplify it beyond all recognition. For those of you who don't know the history behind the Streisand effect, it's Barbara Streisand herself. And there was, I think, a real estate agent or somebody who took an aerial photo of her property and posted it somewhere, and it got like 0 views, maybe 16 views. And she had the wise idea of suing to get it taken down. And in so suing, amplified that photo that she was, that no one was looking at beyond all recognition, and hence was born the Streisand effect. Well, is it not the supreme pinnacle of irony that Streisand is up on Twitter creating the Streisand effect around the Biden bullcrap? The New York Post is printing lies about President Biden. No other media outlets should amplify its disinformation. This is so stupid. It has to be done on purpose. She is literally, through the Streisand effect, amplifying the, I don't call it disinformation because it's information, but they're trying to call it that, in a tweet in which she implores other outlets to not amplify the disinformation while she herself amplifies the information through something known as the Streisand effect, and it's Barbara Streisand who is literally doing it. It's the most sweet, beautiful irony imaginable. But then she's out there posting pictures with look at this. Look at this. And you tell me that this is not a weekend at Bernie's, except it's a presidential term at Bernie's. It was an honor to be a part of Saturday night's very successful Biden event. He must be reelected for the sake of women's reproductive health, children's safety, gun control, climate change, the Supreme Court, and honesty and decency. That is what we just refer to as like just a whopping load of verbal diarrhea. But look at this picture. Okay. Jill looks like, I don't know, this this picture right here. Can I get zoomed in anymore? Everybody knows what this image looks like. I said it looks like this could be a wax sculpture and you would never know the difference. And then you go to this perpetually rigid hand, and I'm not picking on arthritis. This could be a wax statue and nobody would know the difference. They could have had a prop at this event and everyone keeps it secret and no one would know the difference. This is the face of someone who needs assisted living, not someone who should be leading the most powerful nation on earth. And I think I just said that. That's like, this could be a wax sculpture. We'd never know the difference. What's going on here? Get this out of here. Bada bing, bada boom. Back it up. Back it up. Oh, and they all come out in support of Joe Biden. Jack Black is the latest to come out in support of Joe Biden. And I had to let Jack Black what I know. I may have been too harsh on Jack Black, but Jack Black came out and endorsed Biden. It was sort of like a mealy-mouthed endorsement, but then he has to go and retweet the Biden wins, celebrating his endorsement. Oh, here it is, people. It's very sad. There's the expression, you live long enough, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And there's also the other expression, don't meet your heroes. Look at this. And I'll talk about this afterwards. Here's Jack Black.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president and speak here tonight. And I said, I am in. When and where? And thank you. And then they said, Jack, we know how busy you are. You don't have time. Look at all the other events that are happening tonight that you already turned down. MC at the Fliegelman Bat Mitzvah, the opening of the new Jack in the Box in Oxnard, judge at the second annual Imperial Valley Avocado Festival.
There's the old expression like truth in jest. And if you assume that there's a bit of an element of truth in this, yeah, he's making light of the fact that he had nothing else to do than be blackmailed into going to an event to support Joe Biden. He's famous. He's, makes movies, although what was the last movie that he made where he did an interview and I said, Jack Black just looks depressed. Who knows? He might, very well have nothing going right now. And this might be a way to revitalize his career. I'll tell you one thing and I'll explain it afterwards. I have personally unsubscribed from Jablinski Games. I'm struggling with how I'm going to deal with Kung Fu Panda 1, High Fidelity, Tenacious D. And I'll explain after, but let this play out. But bear in mind, there might be actual truth in jest here. He might not have anything, and he might be viewing this as a way to attempt to revitalize a lulling career.
You don't see that on Meryl Streep's resume. I said, I know I turned them down, but my president needs me. Thank you. And then they hit me with the big one. They said, Jack, you can't go. You have nothing to wear. Your good suit is in the cleaners. Well, were they wrong? Because I had this to wear. My kick-ass American flag overalls. Most patriotic outfit of all times.
Does he not realize that a substantial or a meaningful or a statistically significant portion of the party that he now has endorsed view that symbol as an act of oppression, as a symbol of the patriarchy and a symbol of racism and institutionalized bigotry? Does he not understand that the very group that he's now endorsing are not only not vigorously proud of that flag, but ashamed of it and vilify it? Does he not know that?
That shut him up.
No, that shut him up, all right.
There wasn't much they could say after that. And when the president wins in November, yeah! I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a sweet shout out in his victory speech for what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call. Mr. President, you're welcome. That's not the president. That's not Judge. It's a random dude. But I thought it would look better if I talked right to a guy.
It's very sad. It's sad. I look at that and it's a scripted, totally generic, mealy-mouthed, half-assed, sort of as much fence-sitting as you can endorsement of a president. All right, you asked me to be here and I came. Give me my money, or don't disclose those photos. I look at that, and knowing what I know now about that morally depraved, degenerate, satanic cesspool of Hollywood, I say they've either paid Jack Black enough to make it worth his while to forego the Jack in the Box and Flagelman's bar mitzvah, or they have blackmail material on him. And now you go back to some of the songs of Tenacious D and some of the humor, and you say, if there's a little truth in jest, well, you know, maybe everyone in that satanic, immoral, unethical cesspool of Hollywood has committed an act of dirt and has dirt on them. Now, I vocalized my dismay at Jack Black, disappointment, suggesting that he's either being paid to do this or blackmailed into doing it. I hope it was worth it. What is all the riches of the earth for he who has forsaken their own soul? And I get accused, and I read some comments and I take them to heart. I get accused of being a hypocrite. Someone says, "Oh, you celebrate every," or I won't straw man. You know what? I'm not even going to misrepresent what was said. I'm just going to read the critique, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Here we go. And then get ready. We're moving on over to Rumble after this. We're going to talk about the juicy stuff. Chris Murphy. All right, here we go. I get a little bit of this is legitimate critique. I don't know. Maybe the person's not legitimate critique and is a troll, but you can't ignore things and write things off just because you don't like what they have to say. Funny when a celeb endorses Trump, you are like, yes. But when it's the other way around, you get mad. Either you like celebs endorsing presidents or you don't. Pick a side. At the risk of being wrong and someone finding a clip and saying, haha, Viva lied, I don't believe that I've ever celebrated a celebrity or applauded a celebrity for endorsing a politician ever. I don't actually think I've ever done it. And it goes back. I mean, this is how I don't have to have a good memory because I'm just consistent in ethics. Back in the day when Casey Neistat put out that piece of crap of a video, you need to vote for Hillary, I was pissed, not because I disagreed with his position, but because it's out of place for people who did not build their platform on people wanting to hear their politics to be browbeaten by celebrities who, by and large, know jack squat of anything, browbeating anybody into anything when it comes to politics or things beyond their area of expertise. It's not a question of stay in your lane. It's a question of you build your platform off family-friendly cartoons, raunchy comedy that was all inclusive and not political. If I wanted to hear politics from somebody, I would, either follow them for that, or if they evolved into that, it would be a little more organic than Jack Black out of the blue coming out and saying, now I'm endorsing Joe Biden. But hey, I don't think I've ever celebrated a celebrity coming out and endorsing anybody. I don't believe that celebrities have the moral or intellectual authority to tell people anything. They're celebrities, and that's fine. And if they've established an expertise, that's fine. In which case, they're renowned not necessarily or only for their celebrity status, but for their expertise on a particular issue. So I don't think I've ever celebrated anybody coming out and endorsing Trump. I have pointed out the not hypocrisy, but what happens when they do, they get blacklisted from Hollywood, like James Woods, Dean Cain, Chuck Woolery. I have gone and say that it's a one-way street when it comes out to endorsements. One is celebrated, the other is demonized. But what is just disappointing about Jack Black and what he's doing right now, A, it feels totally insincere. B, it's part of this movement now where you got, who else just came out? All of these celebrities coming out and trying to shame us into voting because they think they know what's better for the rest of us. The people who literally live behind fences now supporting a guy who didn't support a border wall. The people who want to take your guns away literally have their own armed security. The people who will never feel the brunt of Biden-inflation or just inflation coming out and telling the lowly hoi polloi, the average citizens who are struggling to make their mortgage payments, support the guy that has basically destroyed the country in which you live, subverted it from within, opened up the borders and now granting mass amnesty and looking to take away your Second Amendment God-given right to self-defense and relying on the fact that cops are too cowardly or corrupt to do their own job as the basis to do it. Yeah, that's why I'm disappointed in Jack Black. It was out of place. It's not his position to do it. And he's violating the reason for which he became a celebrity, which was unifying through art, not dividing through his politics. And some people might call me a hypocrite. Right now, I've gotten rather political. Everybody knows what I think, even though I never tell them what to vote for. Even when I ran for the PPC, I didn't tell people to vote for me. Vote for me if you want. Vote for Trudeau if that's what you want. But I could say that my evolution has been organic and involuntary. And if Jack Black is now going to get into the realm of social commentary, well, then he's going to have to deal with the fact that people are rightly going to shit on him for endorsing someone who is corrupt, demented, senile, by all accounts, and I say a terrible father, not because one son turned to drugs, but because one daughter alleges that he molested her, showered with her. The other one turned out to be what he is. They hid his corruption. They exploited him for their own personal gain. So yeah, I would say that qualifies as being a bad father. And that's it. That's all I have to say on that. I don't know that I feel better, and I'm not sure that we're going to feel any better with what we're going to talk about now on the Rumble side, but you know what might make you feel better? Knowing that you're protected if and when the corrupt, incompetent Biden regime successfully screws up, or causes an October surprise that is going to upend the world as we know it. Make sure that you have your medical emergency kit on hand at home. I'll start and end by saying this is only available in the US. This is a prescription medical kit that everyone in the US or everyone who can access this should access this. We don't have a healthcare system in this country. We have a sick care system. Pharmaceutical companies make billions. That's billions with a B every single year off sick Americans, which means big pharma needs you to be sick to be reliant on them. I just read somewhere like 48% of all Americans are on some form of a prescription drug within the last 30 days. And like it's a 20% kids in there. It's absolutely wild. I'm sure it has nothing to do with sucking down a freaking Monster energy drink. And then you get an ulcer. And then instead of telling you to stop sucking down the Monster drinks, they give you drugs for your ulcer. Although ulcers are caused by a bacteria, not necessarily that, but whatever. Don't come here for medical advice. Just like Big Pharma, Big Government wants you to feel powerless, like they're in control of you and that you need them to protect you. Where can you push back and how can you do it? We become self-reliant and take back control of our health. The wellness company's medical emergency kits will help you do that. Designed by elite doctors, including Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Drew Pinsky, who I know very well. Drew Pinsky came up, we had a barbecue together. It's fantastic. These prescription kits have emerged as a keystone of many American families' emergency preparedness plans, saving thousands of dollars in unplanned hospital visits. Dr. Peter McCullough has been preaching the importance of early intervention and treatment since 2020, and that message won't change. Early treatment is paramount to a timely recovery for any illness. So be ready for the next thing, whether it's the avian flu, whether it's maybe Zika is going to make the Zika virus. You guys remember that? Make sure that you have what you need. The Wellness Company's emergency medical kit containing 8 life-saving medications, including ivermectin, amoxicillin, Z-Pak, and a guided book to help you use these life-saving medications safely and effectively. The kit is prescription only. You can't find anything like it in a store or pharmacy. Every American should have at least one of these kits in their home. Go to twc.health/Viva. And because I have a lisp, TWC Tango Whiskey Charlie .health Viva. Use the promo code Viva. You get 10% off and free shipping. Whether it's bird flu, monkey flu, pox, COVID, cyber attacks, Zika, Ebola. Get one, have one, so that you are not caught high and dry when they decide to shut down the world as you know it. Ooh, that was good. I was thinking of starting like an ASMR Viva cracking. No, I've lost him. Darn it. Don't do that, David. You're going to get arthritis. Okay, what we are doing right now, actually, before we do that, let me see what we've got here by way of Rumble rants. Nothing. We got, okay, good. Let us now go over to Rumble. If you're coming there, Rumble. And locals, if you are so inclined to skip the line, save some time, skip the line. And by the way, oh, geez, Louise. We will have a special guest coming shortly. Tyson Hockley is coming on at some point. Tyson Hockley, you might remember, who was a very young kid at the time, live streaming some protests in Victoria, British Columbia. He's going to pop on and give us an update as to what's going on in his life and in Canada. Stay tuned on the other side in Rumble. Get over to locals, bada bing, bada boom. And now we are ending transmission on YouTube. Bye-bye. Entire stream will be on Viva Clips afterwards. No, I just opened it up. I want to close it.